Good day, everyone. This is the part two, and we will continue with the format and style of an undergraduate manuscript. So, just a recap, we have discussed the format and style of the preliminary pages of the undergraduate manuscript. For this time, we'll be discussing the format and style of the undergraduate manuscript on the body of the manuscript or the body of the study. So again, we'll be using the manuscript submitted by my student last semester. So here we'll start with the introduction. So the first part of the body of the manuscript is the introduction. In the introduction, every start of the chapter, for example, in the introduction, start of the introduction, start of the methodology, it is the page number is hidden. It is counted. The page number is there's a page number, but it's hidden. However, on the second page, we can see now the page number. So the page number for the body is on the upper right hand corner of the manuscript. Unlike on the preliminary pages that we are putting it on the bottom center of the manuscript, the preliminary pages, but on the body of the manuscript, we are putting it on the upper right hand corner. So again, for the every beginning of the chapter, we are hiding the page number. This is actually page 1, but we are hiding it. So the student is using a text box to hide the page number. So this is 1 and this is page number 2. As you can see also, when we will proceed in the methodology, on the first page of the methodology, the page number is also hidden, but it is counted in, it's hidden, so it's counted, still counted, but it's hidden since it is the first page of the chapter. So on the next page, we also have the still the page number, though it's hidden, but it's counted. So that's it for the page number for the body of the manuscript. Then we have here for the text, make sure that your text is in a double line spacing. So this is double. All the text in the manuscript body is in the double and before 0, after 0. So make sure that it's presented like that. It is the standard format. And then every after period, for example, the researcher had chosen the study because she found out that cucumbers have so on and so forth system period. So every period you should have 2 spaces, 1, 2. So for every period there should have 2 spaces. For example, here, here there should be 2 spaces, 1, 2. Okay, there should be 2 spaces and every after the period. And then your table should look like this. As you can see, the table is so clean. There's no vertical lines. Yes, there's no vertical lines, and you can see all the figures directly. So here is what you will do with your table. So initially the table looks like this. Here the borders. So initially, this is the presentation of your table when you will insert a table. So how you will insert a table, it should, you will go to the layout and then you will have here, you will go to the insert, it's insert, and you will table and you will insert how many columns you want, how many rows you want, then it's already a table. So we will go back here. This is the original format of the table. However, we don't want to have it vertical lines here and horizontal lines here in the middle of the table. So we will format it out. So we will click the cross sign to highlight the entire table, and we will click here. And then you will click the borders and shading. Upon clicking the borders and shading, you will have here the border, page border, and shading. You will choose the border. Then you will choose for the setting, you will click here the none. And then there is no lines in the tables anymore. So if you will look at it, there's no line anymore. You will click here again, borders and shading, and there's no line, so you will choose the double lines. So since you will only put the double line on the top and the bottom of the table, you will remove the double lines on the sides of the table. So you will click here, it will look like this. And then for the heading, your heading should have a single line in here. So since we will only format the heading, you will click the heading, you will go back here, and you will click borders and shading, and you will find the single line. Okay, and then you will click it here, and you'll click OK. So the table now looks like this. Always remember that the heading should be in uppercase and center. Always center uppercase. Always remember, if you are putting figures or numbers, or especially in currency, in peso, or you're talking about money, you should always have it aligned to the right. Okay, as you can see, it is aligned here. It is also aligned here. It's aligned to the right. So always make sure. And for your label, we have here table 7 period vertical analysis on the income statement of natural cucumber juice with Calamansi X Enterprise in Libho, Merida, Leyte. So there is no period in the end. Okay, table 7, then label of the table, there's no period in the end, and we have here one space before the table. Again, one space before the table. So I guess that's our table. That that should be how our table will look like. Okay, for the figure, so this is the figure. You will post a figure in the center of the page, and we have here the figure label. Figure label, figure 29 period space promotional poster of the enterprise posted in the Facebook. As you can see, there's no period. For figure label and table label, table title, there's no period at the end of the label and that title. And always take note that when you will discuss, this is your figure or your picture, and your discussion should come before your picture. So this is the discussion and this is your picture, and in your discussion, kindly cite the reference figure. Okay, then we have here also the another figure. This is figure 28, center. Okay, center, and then as you can see, we have here the reference figure. Figure 28 shows discussion and then figure. Discussion should come first before the figure, and there should be a reference for the discussion of the figure. Okay, figure 28 shows, or it is shown in figure 28 or table 28 or whatever. Okay, then here we have table 4 shows. So here she is referring to her table here. So this is the table and this is the discussion. There should be a reference. Discussion and then table, or you could be discussion and then figure. You should not present any figure or any discussion, any figure, any table without a discussion. For the indentation, always make sure that your indentation all throughout the manuscript is identical. Okay? Always make sure that your discussion all throughout, indentation rather, sorry, in the entire manuscript is identical. So another thing is, if you will start with a new paragraph, for example, this is a new paragraph, you always make sure that there are 2 lines rather of text that should appear here. For example, only one line here. Only one line of the text will appear here. So it's not valid. It's not standard. There should be 2 lines. For example, if there is only one line here, you should move that to the next page. Okay. But if 2 lines will still be able, if the page rather can still accommodate 2 lines, then that's good. The minimum is 2 lines for the new paragraph. But if cannot accommodate 2 lines anymore, better move it to the next page. Okay, so we will go back on the table. As you can see, I have discussed that here the text should be in double space. Okay, so please be careful not to control A and double space, because everything will be double spaced. What we are requiring is double spaced only the text and the discussion, not the entire manuscript. Okay, though we are requiring for a double space in the discussion, for the table label, it is single space as well as the table itself. So it should be in single space, zero spacing before and after. So same with the label, table label, as well as the label of the figure, it should be in single space. So take a look at this. This is in single space and not double space. You should be very keen and you should be very familiar to that. Another thing is if you will be presenting an abbreviation, so you will abbreviate. First thing is you will not present directly the abbreviation. For example, you will say VSC Isabel. The first time that you will present the abbreviation, you should present the entire form. You will say Visayas State University Isabel. And the next discussion, the next time you will mention that name is you will now said VSC Isabel, because in the first time that you have mentioned it, you have stated the entire form, the Visayas State University Isabel. Another thing is in your discussion, for example, your discussion is on the percentage. For the percentage, as you can see, if you will be presenting your percentage within or inside the parentheses, you will present it like this, 88.78%. So as you can see, this is a figure, but however, if you will be presenting outside the parentheses, you will state here figure 28 shows that online example. I will change the discussion so that you will have an example. Online buyers comprise of, you will say 88.78. You will not use this percent anymore, but you will spell out the percent because it is not inside the parentheses, it is outside, it is included in the discussion. So figure 28 shows, okay, shows that, okay, I'm sorry, online buyers comprise of 88.78 of, okay, the market. So it will look like that if it's in a discussion. However, if you will discuss like this, majority of the product was sold to online buyers, open and close parentheses, 88.78%, you will not spell out the percent. Okay, I will control Z, I will undo because, okay, that's it. You should have there the indentation. So make sure. And also for figure, when you say one, let's say one sack, you will have here the discussion one sack of, example, calamansi. When you say one sack, 1 to 9, you should have that spelled out, O-N-E. But when you say 12 sacks, there are 12 sacks of, for example, I will type here, when you say there was only one sack of. So as you can see, 1 to 9 you will really spell out number 1. But if you will say there were 20 sacks. So 20 sacks you will not spell out anymore because our guidelines is from 0 to 9 you will spell out. However, from 10 to onwards, you will use the figure. Okay, I hope you will remember that. And also, if you are using the figure, regardless if 0 to 9 or 10 onwards, if you are using that number at the beginning of the sentence, it is really a must that you will spell that out. For example, you will say 12 sacks of. So you are using the number at the beginning of the sentence. It does not belong to 0 to 9, it belongs to 10 onwards. But since you are using that at the beginning of the sentence, it should be spelled out. So I hope you will remember that basic formatting for our manuscript. Okay, and then, for example, your table is cut. So we will take a look if there is table that are cut here. Okay, okay. So so there's not much because originally this is not cut. This is cut because I changed the formatting and I added something. If there is a table that is not continued, so you will, for example, I will give you an example so that you will understand. So for example, this table is not presented in one page. That is why, as much as possible, you should not cut tables. However, if you cannot really give a solution not to cut tables, then you may. That's why, for us to ensure continuity of the table should be in single space. However, if we cannot do away with it and we should cut the table, we will do it like this. So for example, this, and then we cut the table because we have here the discussions, here we have the discussions, we have text here, and we have no ways anymore not to cut the table. So you will cut the table, and then this is table 7. Okay, you will write here table 7, then open and close parentheses, continue. Okay, then you will paste here the continuation of the table, and then you will also paste the heading, of course. Table continued should still have the heading. Okay, we will paste here the heading. Okay, so here there is the heading already, and we will, okay, format again the table just like what I have taught you earlier. Here is the table. Okay, it's good now. Okay, so the table should look like that, and this is continued if it is not continued. We will just spell out continued if there is still, for example, the continuation of the table will occupy the entire space, and there is another third continuation of the table. But for example, this is the last now continuation. There's no other table. There is no other table for this. You can write here table 7 concluded if this is the last part, for example. But if not the last part, for example, there is still a continuation of this table. This is a long table here, and then we continued here. Here we have a continuation here. Then you will cut this here, and you will have table 7 concluded. The last portion we will put here concluded, and of course we still have to put here the heading. Okay, the heading, sorry. Okay, it's the heading. As you can see, this is just for the labeling table title. Table 7 concluded, but here, since it is not yet the end, table 7 continued. But if this is already the end, no need to put continued, but we will put here concluded. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm talking about, what I'm trying to tell you. So here, if this is the only one, then I will just put here concluded rather, because this is the end of the table, because there are tables that really long and will exceed 2 pages. So on the second page of the table you will put continued, and on the third page you will put concluded. However, if only 2 divisions of the table, the first here and the second, this is already concluded. Okay, I guess there is none anymore that is very important to discuss, and I'll proceed with the literature cited or the bibliography here. Okay, The bibliography is a single space. It's a single space, and then we have one space here, single space. The second and the remaining lines for each entry of the bibliography is indented. As you can see, it is indented here, indented. Only the first line is not indented. For example, you have gathered the information from the internet. Here's the internet. You have gathered here the information. So this is the author, the date of publication, the title, the journal, and you will put here, do not forget, you will put here retrieve on April, meaning the author retrieved this on April 20, 2021, April 2021 from, there should be a from here, from HTTPS. So don't forget, retrieve on April from. So that's a basic and very important that you will put that there. And for the appendices, you can have single spaces for appendices. This, you can have it double space or single space, as long as it's okay, as long as you will follow the standard formatting. It could be single or double spaces. So if your table is landscape, of course, when this will be printed, this will become the top and the left, right? Because this is landscape. When this will be printed, this will become the top and the left. So since our 1.5 is the top and left, and in actual here, this is the top and the right, we will make the top and the right 1.5. We will imagine that when this will be printed, this will become the top and the left. But in reality, at the moment, this is the top and the right. So we will make this top and right 1.5 and left and bottom 1. I am talking about the margin. And then here, since when you will print this, this is a landscape. So actually, when you will print this, you will cover this page number, and you will put here the new page number, because when you will print this will be flipped. This will become the top and this will become the right. So you will insert here the text box to hide the page number. So I will hide the page number. So this is it. I will hide. So I'll be using the shape outline. So, and then I will insert here, what's the number again? That's 66. I will insert here the page number, because when this will be printed, this will be flipped. So I will insert here another page text box for the page number. So that is page 66, right? Okay. Oh, what happened? So here, this is page 66. Okay. And I will move this so that, and I will make sure that this is also a Times New Roman. And then I will hide the outline. No outline at all. So when this will be flipped, this will become the upper right hand corner. Okay. So again, that's it. I have given you the basic formatting of the body of the manuscript, and thank you for listening. Have a great day, everyone.